feels so good to get that out of my chest. I feel like that was something that was like really heavy on me now. I've never really truly like found myself interesting in the past, but now that I moved to LA and I'm experiencing a bunch of different things that I never thought I would, now I'm just kind of like, I've always been interesting, but I guess I felt like I didn't have much worth to say. And I think honestly, most of that comes from just a lack of just not self-awareness, because I'm very self-aware, but a lack of just, I guess, just like being encouraged to do that, just like throughout in life. This is something that's completely new to me, and just wanting to tell people kind of like about how I grew up and things like that. The thing that I've also learned about just posting consistently is like, if there's one thing, is that like seeing the videos of the things that I've done in some of the other videos, it shows me that like I am interesting. It shows me that like telling my story is worth telling, and that like I do a lot more than I really see myself doing. Like not everyone can do what I'm doing right now. Not everyone can live like in LA and stuff like that. And I take that for granted a lot because I'm just always so focused on just like the work, always focused on the work, but not necessarily telling my story. And so I feel like moving on here forward, aside from like giving some like motivation to people and trying to teach people how to do stuff, I also do want to tell my story to some extent. And so I want to do it in a variety of formats, right? Because I am an artist, and like people tell stories through movies, people tell stories through content. And so like I'm just realizing that like there's so many different ways to tell your story. Why would you limit it to just one thing? And from what I've been learning from like mixing music and to trying to tell my story through each part of the song, where I bring in the drums, where I take out the drums, like thinking in that format, why should it be any different for like content creation? And so I'm just living in that consistent like creative flow. And I'm also a creative director at a marketing agency. And so like I'm always thinking content, always thinking content. I'm just always creating content with like the idea of feeding the machine, but also like I haven't really taken the time to like step back and look at it from just like telling story. The sooner that I get to do that with myself, the more I'll be able to see that with others. Yeah, man. And so I'm just gonna be sharing my journey for the rest of the content. And this is just one of the types. I'm just gonna be like myself, you know. So can't be myself all the time. Not because I don't want to, but I get exhausted. I'm super introverted. So, anyways, hopefully this helps out somebody.